Okay, so I'm joined today by Maria Parker from Burtons Solicitors. I'm Alex Holt from the cash room. I'm a director of the business, and Maria's kindly agreed to a quick interview about COVID and how it's impacted her firm. Afternoon, Maria.
Hi, Alex.
And if you wouldn't mind, if you could give us a little bit of background on your firm and kind of what you do and sort of size and things like that.
Okay, so the background on the firm, we are a small firm, we're not a large firm. I took over the practice just over 3 years ago when it was a sole practitioner practice. And we have been updating our infrastructure throughout that time. And yeah, we're just sort of high street, small, but we do a fair amount of conveyancing, I would imagine. It's the bulk of our work, but we also do some wills, probates, powers of attorney, all sort of private client stuff, family, and some litigation. But yes, that's a little bit of background of the firm.
Yeah, and so obviously talking about COVID, so how were things for you before lockdown? Kind of what was the state of play? Were you growing? Where was it going in the business at the time?
Yeah, we were growing. We were steadily growing at a really nice pace. So from where I took it over 3 years ago to where it was at the beginning of the year was really nice. And we grew from 3 people, one sole practitioner with a couple of support staff, and we're now sort of up to 20 staff. So, but it's been a steady growth, and so that's been, really nice up until
the So how easy was it to set up the staff to work from home when lockdown came?
So we were fortunate enough to have everything in place for everyone to work from home. Although we hadn't actually done a practice run of it, it was all there. So I think that the first sort of week of the lockdown was a little bit of a scramble to get ourselves set up properly at home, albeit we should have, well, we were trialing it a couple of weeks earlier, but obviously there was still some hiccups when we went into lockdown. So it really was a week or so, and then we all settled into a new way of working. So very interesting, but very good.
And were there any specific kind of security or practical issues you faced when you were getting people to work from home?
Yes, obviously, security, we needed to ensure, that the laptops that they were working from had all the up-to-date protections on them. So sort of the IT guys went on and did all of that. We didn't have to worry about paper files, because we sort of work electronically anyway. So we didn't have that security issue. So actually it's been pretty good so far.
Excellent. And as sort of lockdowns eased a bit, hopefully, have you seen an upswing in work? Have you seen things start to pick back up? Because with you saying you're doing conveyancing, I would imagine it went a little bit quieter for a while.
Yes, it did dip a little bit, sort of immediately on lockdown, and we took that opportunity to get ourselves, up to date with all our admin, and it was fortunate that we did that, because our conveyancing has tripled basically since we came, well, just before we were coming out of lockdown. In the last 4 months, it's just been, extremely busy, and all the staff have been absolutely amazing and hard working, and working full on to meet clients' needs.
Yeah, it does seem to have picked up. Speaking from experience, I'm trying to move house, and it's pretty very, very busy out there. At the moment, you've got staff, I think, still working remotely, and you've got some support staff in-house. I mean, when do you think you might be back to sort of more normal working ways?
$1 million question that is, isn't it? I think if I could answer that, then I'd be, up there with Boris, really.
Or
But
down there with
uh,
him?
yeah, down there with him. But yeah, no, we have got quite a lot of staff back in the office. There were some staff that weren't able to work from home, or preferred to be in the office. But we have obviously put things in place to make them safe when they are working in the office. But we do still have some staff at home working from home. When their return will be, I guess, there's some with children. It's the childcare issues there, and there are still some very vulnerable people like the grandparents that would normally look after the children that still can't do it or don't want to do it. So it's a question I can't ask you, but yeah, I hope it won't be too long, but who knows?
Who knows? Absolutely. And do you have a view on how this is all likely to affect the business going forward? I mean, is it something that's changed your view of how things are going to go for Burton's over the next couple of years?
Yeah, most definitely. How we work, and well, I mean, we'd already been set up to work quite a lot remotely, but it could be that we do more remote working. Less not needing so much office space with people, so we can grow differently. But it's a little bit of a minefield at the moment to get through.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. And it's probably hard to think of one, but if there was one positive thing that you could take away from the lockdown experience, what would it be, other than wine?
Oh, I think it's flexibility. I think without being flexible, and without having to being able to work remotely, that would have been a lot more trickier. So you do have to be flexible for sure.
Absolutely. Well, that's been really informative and helpful, and I'm sure lots of people find that really interesting. Thank you so much, Maria. I'll stop recording now so you can relax. And thanks again.
Thank you.